Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. This is part 1 of a series I'm filming on my channel about how I stay productive, and today I'm going to give you a tour of my Notion, which is basically my second brain since I use it from everything from like organization to just kind of like how anyone would use their notes app. So let's get started. So this is my Notion homepage, and usually I actually like to use Notion in dark mode. So I wanted to put it in light mode so I can show you how to change it. So you just go into settings and members and then my settings and go to appearance and you can change it. So usually I use dark. I used to use light, but I just like dark now. So before we continue with the video, I just want to let you guys know that I know 92.5% of you guys aren't actually subscribed to my channel. I'm literally going to put a screenshot right here. And it honestly breaks my heart because if all of you guys subscribe to my channel would go from having 66 subscribers to having 880 subscribers, which would honestly be so crazy. So I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, and we're going to continue with the video. This is my homepage. Now my title is Create Your Dream Life, since that's kind of part of the reason why I have Notion. So I just like keeping that as my title, and it's been like that for a while. And this little tagline here is something that changes a lot. I used to be something like done is better than perfect, because it is, but I wanted to kind of write something about my intention for this year, and I can't remember who was talking about like making like a slogan for your year, but I watched some video and they were, and I decided mine would be my consistent healing hobby, strong, successful era. So that's what I'm hoping to embody. So it's just a little reminder right there. But yeah, those don't actually have any functionality, and I just have a picture of New York City with my little airplane icon right there. So the kind of like main functionality actually is my weekly schedule, and essentially this is just to keep track of all my tasks. And I used to try to do calendar blocking on Google Calendar, but I ran into this problem that like it was really rigid, which just didn't work with me, because I would often like be really ambitious and be like, I'm gonna get this task done in like an hour, and then I wouldn't, and then it would throw off the rest of it. So I didn't really like that system, and I just never got consistent with it. So I decided, why don't I consolidate like my calendar and my to-do lists for every day into one system. So that's why I have this weekly planner, and I really like how it's weekly, because essentially how it works for me is that every Friday I make a new schedule, and then I like write down all my tasks that I already have throughout the week, and if I need to add something extra, I just put it in. So to give you kind of the daily scope, I'll just put all my tasks, like a lot of these, like for today, are they're tasks and not really like events. If I have an event, like you see Wednesday when I have like my tryout meeting, I put a time next to it. I could put like AM or PM, but usually it's like obvious enough that I don't have to. But yeah, so I'm losing my train of thought. Anyway, oh yeah, I was gonna say I try to keep everything as like action items, so I always use verbs. So like a lot of them are kind of vague, because like if you were me, you would know what they mean, but like they don't mean much to like most other people. Like post, so this is like under practice, this is post on my practice account essentially. So okay, and another thing I integrated into the system is kind of just like, I remember seeing a video by Rowena Sai, where she had this like GTD, like getting things done system on Notion, and I was like, this is really clever. Which, I mean, like, I guess a lot of people have some version of this, but I just wanted kind of like a doing and a done category, so I can kind of like keep track of my tasks. So what I do is, like, for example, I already exercised today. I'll just, whenever I finish, I drag it into done. And there's something in doing. Oh, practice and post. I already did both of those. I read today. And I haven't done these 2 other tasks. But that's kind of like what it's like on the daily. And then every Friday you see this make new schedule. That's when I usually try to in the morning make the schedule for next week. And how I go about that is I like these buttons in Notion, they're really useful. I just click the button and it creates a new weekly schedule, and I change the date, and then it hasn't loaded yet. But yeah, I will just click these buttons to like add all my tasks essentially. Let me undo that. yeah, so and then whenever I'm done with a week, I highlight the entire week. And the annoying thing is you can't do this on the mobile version, but I highlight it and then I drag it into my schedule archive, which just has all my schedules. I very rarely look back at them, but it's nice to just have everything in one place. Although it isn't formatted correct when I drag it in there, but it doesn't matter too much to me. So the next functional part of my Notion is this goals tab, which is something new I implemented this year because I wanted to be more intentional about how I approach failure. So whenever I fail a goal, I want to make the most out of the failure so that I can hopefully have a success in the future. So most of these are just college acceptances, honestly, which I guess in the future I won't be able to do too much about, but I just wanted to kind of keep track of everything, So I just put everything on in progress, and if I failed the goal, which some of these did fail, like my MIT and U Chicago EA acceptance, I just dragged into here, and then I would click on it, and this is everything. I wrote how am I gonna bounce back, and then I listed all of these things. So I want to have that mindset that whenever I do fail something, I am making a conscious effort to make the most out of the failure. I don't know what I'll do if I succeed. I haven't had one yet this year. It's been very early. But this is something I'm trying out, and I can just add new goals in this tab. So something I kept from last year that is a very useful thing I found is this master schedule, which I forgot to mention, but this entire template is kind of taken from Brianna Kwan's template, but I modified it so much that it's not really the same. Maybe except for this master schedule, and I think the weekly planner is somewhat similar. I can't remember what it was on her template. I know these two parts at the top were there, but this goals tab wasn't there. But so essentially the reason why I have this is because I take classes at school, but I also take dual enrollment and also online through a virtual school. So oftentimes if I didn't put all the due dates in one place, I would completely lose track. So what I do here is for all my different classes, I put them in this master schedule. So I'll put the due date for the assignment, whether it's in progress, not started or done, and then I'll put the course, name of assignment, and then whether it's an assignment, a quiz, a test, etc. And it's really useful because how I use this is I put everything from all my classes in here, and then I sort it by due date. So that's kind of how I know what to work on. So I just, as much as possible, try to go straight down the list. And it's really nice because when I'm in the middle of the semester, I kind of have a gauge on how far I am with all my coursework. So yeah, that's a very functional thing in my Notion. So something I'd like to go to next is this resources tab. This is just different things I'm going back to. It's just useful pages. I don't look at them all the time, which I really should more. But for example, this is my 2024 timeline. So this is where I put all my different decisions and auditions and just things going on in my year, like graduation. So this is kind of just giving me a broad overview, and it's something I found useful, just so I kind of know what the pacing of my year is like. I'll just give you a little preview of all the pages because there isn't really that much else in my Notion. Then this healing tab is kind of funny. I made this for a bunch of habits I wanted to start this year and kind of exploring my more creative side. So this was just because last semester I was super busy, so this semester when I have more free time, I was here are the ways I want to heal from everything I went through. So I made this list. But that's for example one thing I might go back to. And then 2024 goals. So this is kind of a narrative description of everything I want to happen over the year. And this is another manifestation type thing that I just wrote down. I was I'm visualizing everything that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen like this, which it might not, but sometimes it's nice to just kind of know. So this kind of is similar to the timeline, but more about how I want to actually visualize everything. I think I'm talking fast. It's kind of annoying that I have to scroll down every time I go to the next page. Okay, This was another list. I think I got this from Tam Coward. That she gave this idea to me. Um, Basically, make a list of like what makes you feel good and what makes you feel bad. So I just listed all of these things out, and I was like, I can revisit this whenever I am feeling bad. I can do the things on this side and cut out the things on the right side in my life, which is something I'm gonna try to do more of this year. Okay, on one more page, video ideas, which I've been trying to use more this year. I already did. These ones are complete now, so let me just drag them there. This one's in progress. It's what I'm doing right now. So yeah, and then I just wrote a little note to myself down there. Okay, so this brain dump portion is actually supposed to be like my notes app, but in Notion, and essentially it's just for little things. Like for example, this yearbook quote due January 28th. I just like put that there because I was like, I need to remember that, but with my notes app, it would always get like super cluttered. So I like having this, just all of this in one place. That's my favorite part about this Notion. Everything I need is in one place. So I don't have to have like a bajillion like apps, Okay, so these, I'm not gonna go through them really. Maybe I'll just give you a sample. These are just like random notes pages that it's like the difference between these and resources is these are like pages for things that I'm not going to like really revisit them. I mean, yeah, like this dorm wish list, like maybe it's relevant in these like next few months, but like in like 6 months when I'm in college, or maybe 8-9 months once I've already bought everything I need, it's not going to be relevant. So I just want to keep the stuff I revisit in resources and these like more minor things in this brain dump. So yeah, this is an example. I just like wrote down a bunch of things from my wish list and kept it in this note. So in that way, it kind of functions like a notes app. And then whenever I don't need something anymore, I just drag it into the notes archive, which just has all my notes. And that's also useful because sometimes I'll like go back there. It's like, oh, I actually need that note that I like made really long ago. You can see there's a lot of stuff in here. So then I would just go back. If it's like a packing list or something like that I might need again. So, forgot to say, something else I use this brain dump for is whenever I have something that I want to add into my schedule, like let's say it's like, oh, I have All State Orchestra on February 20. I don't even know the date. It's like 27th. No. Okay, I can't remember. Let's just say 27th. So I would like put it here, and then like whenever it gets to that time for me to make that weekly schedule, I'll put it in my schedule. But sometimes I just get these like dates where it's like it's not like a big enough event for me to put in my like timeline, but it's not like we're not far out enough to like put it in my, or we're not close enough for me to put it in my schedule, so I just put it in a note here so I remember to put it in my schedule when that week comes. Okay, so if you notice, I have been skipping over this entire right side because it's something new I added this year. It's actually a worksheet from Rowena Sai, so it's not functional at all, but I did this last year and it was really helpful, but I rarely revisited it and I didn't look at it often, so I want to like kind of have it in my face more, so I just put it on my Notion homepage. I think maybe I did have 2 columns, but this didn't take up a whole column because it wasn't even on my page. It was like a separate page last year. But basically this worksheet just takes you through like the words you want to embody in this new year. I said optimistic, consistent, and peaceful, and then the growth mindset you'd like to develop, where you would just like choose from a bunch of different categories. I chose the one that I thought I needed the most work on, which was failure. So that's why I have this kind of goals thing. It's kind of aligned with that. And values and how you're going to kind of go about supporting them, like your intentions. So, and then even more specifically, we have our systems for those values to like really make those intentions come to life. And that would be across like personal growth, mental health, your friends, work, career, school, health, and then like creativity. So did I add in these categories? Maybe I did. I don't know if friends was there before. There was some I modified it in some way. I can never keep track of this, but I definitely want to revisit this at least like every month and like kind of check in on my progress, and how much I adhere to these goals. So yeah, that's it for my Notion tour though. Hopefully this was helpful, and I mean, if you want me to speak any more on anything like this entire right side, I could completely go off about that. But yeah, if you guys want, I can try to make this a template for you guys to use. Editing Christian here, a little quick update. I just want to let you guys know that I actually figured out how to make my Notion template shareable. So I put it in the description of this video down below, so you can just click on that and duplicate it if you want to use the same Notion that I use. Actually, I'm gonna try that. We'll see how that works. If it works out, it's gonna be linked in the description below, which I probably mentioned at the beginning of the video. I don't think about it, but yeah. Hope you found this helpful, and stay tuned for the next episode of how to stay productive like me.